Hey everybody, Steven here, playing Subnautica Below Zero, experimental build 23262. So, with this, I saw on the Subnautica Changes Twitter account that there has been extensive work on the horizon, essentially, right here, which I can tell there's been work done because the clouds don't necessarily just hover. You can actually see a blending now here, which wasn't in the game previous to this. It just didn't look like this. So, went ahead and looked at some other things in the game that we're going to cover as well with this, but that's one of the big things here. This may be one of those things where it's been in the game for a minute, I just either haven't highlighted it or I'm just now noticing it, but the texture, the look of the snow now, especially when we're up on different kind of ice platforms here, icebergs, just looks different now. It looks like there's more detail work. It's definitely been changed here. And then as you can see, and we'll get closer up to this, they finally are putting in kind of the, I don't know, ice walls here. So you can see that right over there is actually the glacial basin. So you can see that they've put the wall up and then they've expanded it and smoothed everything out on the edge over here as well. So slowly coming together here. We have it there. We also have it right here. But like I said, we'll get up and close and personal with that here in a minute. And then it looks like they've actually tweaked, and it may be one of those things also where it looks like they've tweaked this stuff. And let's actually just go ahead and go into free cam mode here. It looks like the color has changed here. Now this is look like this, right? But it does look like they've added more detail work. It looks like the color has changed a little bit in my opinion. Like I said, maybe one of those things, maybe it's just in my head, but it does look like they've actually tweaked all of this. So, and I'm talking about the wall right here. But let's go ahead and check out. Got our wall here. It's finally filled out now. It's looking way better than it was. I was wondering when they were going to start actually adding all this stuff in. So there we go. Looks good. And then we'll go over here to the glacial basin. Now it's just on the one part up above the water. This doesn't actually go underneath the water. It does for a second, but it doesn't actually fill all the way through. I'm wondering how they're actually going to blend that into the next portion here, but looking really, really good. We didn't have this over here. This was just flat, so now we're seeing the walls kind of built out here. Obviously, it looks like they're going to add a lot more detail work and tweak this and all of that over time. But let's take the water volume off really quick, and you can see it just doesn't go all the way down, right? It stops. Yeah. So, curious to see how they actually blend all of that in. I'll bring that fog back on. Or if it's something that they even do. I don't know. It may be one of those deals. They'll probably blend it right there, but it may just kind of float into this, and I don't know if they'll really change this much. We'll see. But let's go back up top here. Now, I don't have the weather turned on, so that is something to keep in mind with this. But like I said, the clouds actually blend into the horizon now much better, and the horizon just looks slightly different here, where it looks like it kind of fades out. So let's bring the weather back on though. This is where you're going to tell a real difference too, because with the weather turned on, especially when it's daytime, it just seems like there's like a haze in the air here. Let's go weather event calm. We'll see let's do clear skies actually. We get to see a sunset. But even with the weather event clear skies, we still see this haze here. It's not until I actually bring the weather off that this will actually change here. Like this. Now everything's clear, right? But right now, if we bring that back on, we're going to have that haze. So that's one of those new additions to the game here. I go back and forth in my head. I'm like, in certain instances, it does look really, really cool. Like, that's looking really cool. Let's see how the sun does. But at the same time, I do like it when it's crisp. Like, that is crisp. I like that look. But in terms of creating a more natural look to this, creating some type of depth to it as well. So we have that right there. So let's cue in night, by the way. And you'll still see it here as well. So if I bring off the weather, boom, clear. Bring it back on. Like I said, we see that haze. You can even see the outline around me, by the way, because I'm in free cam. I'm not going to notice this as I'm the character close, but if I start coming up, you can see the blue dot underneath me, and then from there it kind of gets tiered out. So we have the adjustment of that, right? I've covered the Aurora Borealis in another video that will pop in randomly. I do notice that it does affect the look of the Vesper here, right? So this right now looks way different. And I think this is the look that I don't know if I'm sure. I guess in this instance, I don't like it as much as when it's clear. I like it in the other ones, but here this just looks better in my opinion than the other variation. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Now let's go find ourselves a sea monkey. And I'm going to take this water volume off. That's another interesting thing. Taking the water volume off. And then we can take the weather volume off. You can see the difference there too now, right? Let's find ourselves a sea monkey. So the cinematics are supposed to change with this. Whoa. There we go. Load in. So let's see if we can find ourselves a sea monkey, and then we will see if it will steal some stuff from us. Maybe. No, there's usually one over here, unless they've taken them out temporarily. There's one.
Emergency cache detected nearby.
Come on, sea monkey. Alright, steal my stuff, guy. What's he gonna do with it? Whoa. You can't hold on to these long. Let's get away from you. Alright, let's see. Maybe with the knife it does something different.
Oxygen.
So it looks, I mean, slightly different, right? Like the pushing of the head away. Certain things with the animations, usually it's just like, when they talk about this stuff, it's slightly tweaked. It's not something that I necessarily pick up a massive difference with, or I'm just haven't been mindful enough with. The turning on the back there maybe looked different. You guys let me know, right? Yeah, that does look different to me. Like I said, the turning on the back like a sea otter. Or just an otter. I don't know if you have to say sea otter, but yeah. And it squeaked. That's pretty cool. So we have that right there. And then I'm going to showcase one last thing here. I've checked the fabricator caves, didn't see anything different that I haven't covered before. The crystal caves don't show anything else. And I haven't seen any changes on the Twitter account here, but I will note there is a subtle difference here. If you see those bubbles, that is a new effect that they have added as well here, and this is where you can find sulfur, but this is just an adjustment to the visual effect with the hot springs here. So bunch of different little tweaks here. I'm super happy to see kind of the ice added here, the ice walls, because that's just that next visual touch that makes this game look more and more complete here. I do think they're going to tweak that more. I think that they'll tweak the walls here. Also, it kind of throws it off when you have that in, but these haven't been tweaked themselves, the walls right here. So, and it does look like they've added, and this is one of the things, they've been doing this for a while, but just more little shelf, I don't know what to call them, like mini, they're not icebergs, right? They're just pieces of shelf ice here. But this is all been added and adjusted in the game here as well, which is really, really cool. The lead into this is different as well. I haven't been over here for a minute. So the tunnels, slightly tweaked, not much. Let's see, that goes nowhere. But that is it, everybody. If you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Like I said, I want to hear from you guys as well. Certain things where you're like, oh, you missed this, or this is what you're referencing, whatever it is, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And check back soon for more videos. Hopefully we are going to see the story changes the 18th or the 19th. Somebody else said that, what is it? I forget the developer's name. Is it Abrax? Obraxis. Mentioned, and he's one of the developers for the game. He mentioned that the date isn't actually what it's going to be, but we'll see. Sometimes they say stuff like that and then it ends up being that Favreau was actually right, so I don't know. If it is, I'm going to make a video on it. If not, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer until we see these story changes from Jill Murray on this. So that is it. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. Check back soon for more videos.